Hello, 안녕하세요. Ryan Walters here at Suwon World Cup Stadium along with Paul Neat. Paul, the super match was pretty super today.
It was a great game. It was enthralling from start to finish, really.
Yeah, and you don't really get to say that about a 0-0 very often, and that's what it was for the first half. It was 0-0, but it was an entertaining first half, and it felt like the goals were coming, and in the second half they did. And, you know, who else could it have been to get that first goal other than the man himself? Dejan Damjanovic gets that goal, and you were pretty impressed by that one.
Oh, it was a great finish. It was a nice little layoff by Elvis Saric as well to team up. First time, drilled it into the bottom corner, and the place just erupted.
Yeah, and credit to him, he didn't celebrate.
He didn't celebrate.
He did he gave a round of applause for the home fans, which is the end behind us here, and as you would expect from somebody that's spent that much time in FC Seoul colors. Classy finish and a classy celebration, and then after it was already a pretty entertaining back and
all the hell broke loose after that.
It just went crazy. It just went absolutely crazy. We did just have a question come in on something I was going to touch on right now, so perfect timing with that. Should Go-Yo Han's yellow card have been a red? Unfortunately, the internet wasn't working up in the press box, but having seen it a little bit and just from the basic reaction that we've seen online and a little bit of the replays on there, it does seem like that probably should have been a red card.
Yeah, if you raise your hands and you catch somebody with an elbow or an arm,
or a foot in this case,
then yeah, you've got to thinking about an early bath.
Yeah, it was surprising at the time that it was just called a yellow on the field, but then when it went to VAR, I thought for sure he was going to be sent off. So for me, that one was pretty surprising, and that really didn't necessarily change the complexion of the game, but it kept the complexion of the game the same that it was, and that was massive for Seoul because they kept pushing.
Yeah, if you go down to 7 men at that point, then it's going to be very difficult to get anything out of the game at all. I mean, it already was, I think, because with no Pesic up front today, Seoul's attacking options were a little bit limited. I think that the changes that Cheong-Soo made kind of highlight that. He didn't bring on Yoon Jun-tae until a bit too late, really. I thought. Well, and then when they still can't find an equaliser, he brings on a central midfield player, and then Osmar goes up front. Which I understand, if you want to go route one, physical presence, someone who can hold the ball up, that's fair enough. But if I was Jung Won-jin, for example, sat on the bench...
Well, didn't you already try the route one stuff with Park Dong-jin starting the match?
Yes.
So, I mean, but speaking of Yoon Jun-tae coming off of the bench, he thought he'd equalized.
He did.
And then we had another decision that went against. That one was called off after a VAR review. And then later, there's a penalty. No Dong-gun with an amazing save.
Great save.
Read Park Ji-young extremely well. Park Ji-young, who, for the record, in spite of the goal, I thought had an extremely poor match. Just absolutely apathetic throughout most of the game. Didn't see him win a single 50-50 ball. Just in typical Park Ji-young fashion, showed up. And he's going to be on all the highlight reels because he did convert on his second penalty, which we'll touch on if that should have happened or not. But he gets his shining moment yet again after another, honestly, very poor performance on the field. It's if you're an FC Seoul fan, you don't care. But watching this team as often as we do, it's very frustrating watching him play for 90 minutes and then get to step up and be the hero. And something very interesting that we saw happen as well, I don't know if the cameras picked this up on the broadcast, but it looked like Cheong-Soo did not want Park Ji-young to take that second penalty kick. Again, we haven't been able to confirm this at all. We haven't watched any replays or anything, but it looked like he wanted Cho Young-uk to take that.
Yeah.
Because Cho Young-uk ran up and took the ball, but then Park Ji-young pushed him aside and said no, and Cheong-Soo, the manager, did not look happy about that.
No, and he sent Kim Gong-gun over to go and relay his instructions further, and I mean, credit to Park Ji-young for having the audacity, the confidence to go and take one again. He went in the same side as well. He put the ball in the same place.
Yeah.
Which is confidence, which is a good thing, of course.
Yep.
But like you said, Ryan, there wasn't a lot that he contributed other than that penalty in the game.
Yeah.
So I think a draw is a fair result.
Yeah.
It was a great game, and Park Ji-young will get the headlines because of his equaliser, a late equaliser as well.
Which there's already been a little bit of mention in this on Twitter as we're sitting here just minutes after the match, that it is very interesting that Seoul get that extremely late equalizer, literally the last kick of the game, just 1 week after the very controversial decision in Jeonbuk to keep playing the match and keep playing the match deep into stoppage time. So this is 2 weeks in a row that we've seen an FC Seoul match just go very, very deep into stoppage time. Last week it obviously went against them. This week it's gone for them. So I guess you could argue it balances out.
Swings and roundabouts, I suppose you could say.
But it's, well, a lot of fans won't be exactly happy about that one. But the point gained for them does keep the title race quite interesting right now.
Yes, it does. After Jeonbuk's draw yesterday away to Songnam, and then also Ulsan's defeat as well in the East Sea derby, of course, yesterday.
Ulsan could be top of the table if they would have won that.
Yeah, so the title race is...
And Daegu is only 2 points off at the top right now.
A four-horse race.
Yeah, which four-horse race a third of the way through the season. Honestly, we expected Jeonbuk to be up there, but we couldn't have really asked for too much more than for it to be this entertaining. And today, the weather was perfect. There were 24 some odd thousand that paid to be here. I think in attendance total probably would have been close to 30,000. So the crowds are coming out, and they're seeing some good matches.
Yeah, it's been a good weekend for football, good weekend for the K-League, and that is who won this weekend, Ryan.
That's
K-League
right.
win.
That's right.
The K-League won.
And the Minions at Songnam yesterday. They won just by being, and nobody wanted the Minions there. But anyway, highly entertaining match today, and we're going to try to get over and talk to some of the players in the tunnel right now about it. But we'll be back sooner than later. We got a podcast coming out later this week, all sorts of the things. Just catch up with us on social at K-League United, or you can email us info@kleagueunited.com. But for now, if you're here in Korea, enjoy the day off tomorrow. If you have it, hopefully you do. Enjoy Children's Day, and well, thanks for watching, and here's to another good weekend.